The vaccines, as we know, are around the corner, and the Ministry of Health at the moment is finalizing our agreement with the COVAX facility, which is being organized by Gavi. All these words are nearly as strange to you as they are to me. Gavi is essentially an organization that is managing it for across the world, and it's been around in the vaccine industry. It's an international organization for a long period of time, for well over a decade. And COVAX is the facility in particular related to the vaccine for the coronavirus. We are being promised either in the last quarter of this year or early next year there should be a vaccine that's available. I really hope that comes to fruition. We are now in the very early days of December, and many of you will have seen on the news that there are 3 vaccines that are probably about to get approval. The results that they've released so far through press releases rather than through scientific information have come from AstraZeneca, from Pfizer-BioNTech, and from Moderna. 2 of those are mRNA, messenger RNA vaccines, and one of them is a slightly different style of vaccine, but all of them have shown very good results across very large-scale trials that they have done to date. And it is very likely that Cayman will get one of those as the first vaccine that we will roll out across the islands within the next few weeks. The plan is that we should order 20% of our vaccines for 20% of our population, which means we would order 2 doses, because most vaccines come with 2 doses. We all know that you have one, then you have another one maybe 6 weeks later to strengthen the immune response to the body. That 20% will be used in our most vulnerable and in the healthcare population. However, Cayman's in a really unique place for a couple of reasons. Firstly, we also have access to the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom has said that we would have access to the vaccines that they have for their population as separate to the COVAX facility that we're going into. So we've got another door to get hold of the vaccines. The other matter about the vaccines is that because we currently don't believe we have any coronavirus on the islands, or not outside of our isolation facilities, we can require that everybody coming into the country would need to have a vaccine before they entered. So we could sort of our fence can still be up, and our protection will be that certificate showing that you've had the vaccine. There are understandable fears about vaccines. I really do appreciate people's point of view, but that is why the manufacture of vaccines at a large scale for something like this is done with so much care and attention to look for any side effects, and which is why the trials that need to be undertaken to look for safety are huge. There are tens of thousands of people for every different vaccine. That is part of the safety of a vaccine. I suspect that when the vaccines come out, they may well not be recommended for certain groups of people initially, until more information is conducted. So it's often difficult to do surveillance of vaccines in people who may be pregnant and in children, for example, because it's less, you need to be careful about exposing those groups in particular to something like anything novel that hasn't been tried in that group before. So we need to follow carefully what the people who are checking on the safety say about the vaccines, to which groups it can be used in. A lot of this is always about balance, like, is the likelihood of you developing a problem with the vaccine greater or less than the possibilities of you being affected by the virus, or you bringing the virus and affecting somebody else in your household? And that's a decision that is a really important one to bear in mind. It's not just about an individual, it's also about the community within which you're living, and the close community in which you share your life intimately with.